small, tiny amounts of hopium for TL.
Okay.
I did like their early game plan.
Take a puff, Emily.
Yeah, I know. I did like their early game plan. I thought they put a lot of thought and effort into executing. I loved seeing Yuuji and Core working together as well as they did, especially with that initial topside gank and then the re-gank afterwards. I thought they did really well getting Yeon ahead early. It was then just, again, a lot of their team fights. A, Thanatos just had an insane Rumble performance, but B, their team fights kind of got separated out.
And I would say, the Otacon going down with the Rumble ultimate burn. Okay, so Blaber was like alive, really close to that, but he didn't even smite. So we're not going to take that into the equation. No, it was straight up, but just a little bit early smite, and the Otacon kind of burned down to the Rumble ultimate. And I feel like that is the pivot point, you know, where the branch in the timeline went towards Thanatos.
That's the canon event of the game.
That's when Thanatos was like, no, we are winning this game.
All right, let's hop into this second one now. As Team Liquid is over on the blue side, it's Poppy, Yone, and Gwen banned out by them. C9 paying the Varus Pantheon tax, also banning the Vi out here as well. And Team Liquid, first and foremost, they're just going to lock in a solid, staple pick for the top lane with the Renekton.
Yeah, and this is, I would say, Impact's favorite blind pick. I think he feels like, regardless of how the laning matchup goes, he'll be able to kind of frontline with the Impact. With the Renekton, rather. I do like the response from Aurora, though. We've seen Loki do a ton of damage on that champion, but also can be
we saw Saint do 42% of his team's damage.
That number, when they tweeted it out yesterday, 1,600 DPM or something, I was like, this has to be broken.
He was trying.
I was like, that number doesn't seem like that's a legal number.
See if that's repeatable this time around for Cloud9. But they're going to back it up here. Blaber on pure CC with the Skarner.
Yep.
Big old
I think that's a good place, you know, after the previous game. Just hold people in place for Thanatos to kill.
Yeah,
How about that?
Exactly.
That's the name of the game. Just gang up on them. And what is Team Liquid going to answer with? Again, I thought that Yuuji's performance in game number one, especially early, was really solid. He was getting involved in bottom lane, top lane, back to bottom lane again, like all over the place. And now he'll be on a champion that can, again, try to run back that type of performance and affect the game early and often.
Yeah, this felt like the, whoa, here we go, okay, the APA Ziggs. We've
got out of the seat a little bit
waiting.
there, too.
I was like,
oh, it's Ziggs time, baby.
Yeah, pay attention now. Yeah, this is one of, if not his best champion. Received a bit of buffs that buffed his mid lane carry potential as well. And already TL and APA were one of the few teams globally who were kind of still playing the Ziggs mid lane occasionally before those buffs came through. So TL are like, okay, we're in trouble. It's Ziggs time.
I mean, for Team Liquid, I think that APA did have the weakest individual performance in that game one on his Annie. I don't think he was able to accomplish as much as the team needed him to accomplish. So getting him back on this ultimate comfort, I think you hit the nail on the head, Emily, saying this is probably his best champion. That's what you need him on if you want to take a win.
Okay. We have a little bit of a visual bug, but Loki has locked in Galio.
Okay, all right, it didn't show up, because I was wondering there for a second, I'm like, the timer thingy ran out. Kind of have to pick a character.
we also can't draw on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I would draw a Galio in there, you know?
Just imagine, there is a mid lane Galio here, because the Aurora is going top lane into the Renekton, which is definitely an annoying matchup there for the Renekton. And Impact already, like, I felt like he was having a rough time last time, and so Thanatos may very well be set up to put up some LeBron numbers here, similar to like Saints in the Lion series yesterday. We'll see, because Cloud9, aside from Thanatos' Aurora here, the burst damage champ, they have drafted a couple of, you know, tank and setup champions to play around / with him. When Aurora goes in, she can get in really deep there and be a very good spot for Galio to ult in on top of, who also can do some respectable follow-up burst himself.
Yeah, I'd say
as well as being a tank.
but I'm also looking specifically from Zven to have a stronger performance in this game number 2. I think by the end of game number 1, he stabilized. He was able to contribute a lot with the poke, but early on, Team Liquid focused him down. They set him behind. Then we remember the play down in bottom lane near the tier 2 turret where he flashes away and then just walks back and Yeon solo kills him anyway. So a couple of missteps from Zven in game number 1, but a big performance from him here could be exactly what the team needs to make this a 2-0. It is marksman, marksman, marksman here in the second half of the bans, though, as Sivir and Lucian and Senna are all banned away alongside the bar.
Yeah, TL are one of the teams that do ban Senna more than most here in the LTA North. And then taking that Bard away from Vulcan, I think we all know the kind of massive performances that he has been able to have on that pick. Really great at roaming. And we see the Jhin locked in for Zven this time. There is kind of some nice setup for the Jhin in terms of the Skarner, the Aurora being able to soften people, the Galio coming in on top. So see what TL want to do here.
Yeah, just going through his options. He's like, all right, how hard can I carry?
Yeon always does
He's like, geez, we didn't win when I had like a 3,000 individual gold lead on Yunara. I got to go to Zeri now or something? What are we doing? All right, I guess we're going dive. I'll go Kai'Sa. So he's going to go for the dive here for the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa does have some mobility for herself too, to try and work around what Cloud9 are showing. I kind of like the Rel, but they're going back to the Rakan here. Rakan, of course, is like very quick and might be able to create some more space.
Yeah. Pretty much anything with the big AoE engage is what I want to see them lock in here. Give me something to let Ziggs throw that Mega Inferno Bomb over the top and start the team fight off right with a little bit of AoE, and Rakan is going to be just that. With the response from C9, a pretty swift lock on the Alistar for Vulcan.
Yeah, and again, one of Vulcan's best champs, I think, pairs really, really well with what Jhin wants to do with his setups. I think this is going to be a really nasty composition coming out of C9 if they're able to do it. On the other side, though, it's pretty much pure comfort for TL. And I'm including, obviously, the Ziggs in that, but also the Renekton, the Kai'Sa, something we saw Yeon come back on in that 100 Thieves series, and then Core on his signature Rakan.
Yeah, let's see if they can do it. Plus Rakan, yeah, definitely is better than the Rel when you know Vulcan's going to go Alistar. So
yeah, that works.
Yeah, that definitely does make some good sense there. All right, TL, as you said, you know, that is comfort. See if they can bounce back here in this game. They did have such, it felt like a clear game plan that they executed on in the previous game. They just got to keep it together. The Otacon getting stolen there by the little tick of damage might have sent them over the edge. New game though, clear your minds. Focus up here. Could push us to a game number 3. Could push this series further.
In fairness, it would also tilt me if it happened to me and too. But
yeah,
losing it to the entry burn tip.
Also because you're not the jungler too when you're playing.
True,
so
I am not.
So everyone's looking at their jungler like,
oh my god, you sure that smite was timed correctly?
Entries, huh?
Okay.
Does like what,
No.
3 damage?
Let it be known I do not play my teammates. Anyway.
sure.
I do want to talk a little bit about...
Aren't you an AD carry player?
Yes, but I'm a nice AD carry.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
You'll have to take my word for it. I want to talk about APA Ziggs.
Okay.
Not just that he's good at this champ, but also I feel like it gives TL another clear game plan. I feel like when APA was at his best, it was either on this champion, it was on the Talia, or it was on AD mid specifically. And the way he would treat those is push up the mid wave, affect side lanes, take turrets down. Like, he was very much a part of what TL liked to do with their early mid game, especially with structure taking. And Ziggs is essentially a cheat sheet for that.
Yep, definitely agree. They get a lot of gold that way, usually in the early games. You know, through that satchel charge, executing towers. So we'll see. We'll see this time around. Loki goes up to get his early Raptor side vision here. Try and track Yuuji. And should be a pretty standard opening. Again, I do kind of want to focus on the top lane for this. Because even though, well, actually this is a good spot here as we get an early summoner spell blown. But the Aurora into Renekton, usually is like very painful for the Renekton, especially like level 1. You know, you try and push him off the wave so he can't charge up any fury. Thanatos, you can see, actually has done a good job already harassing him pretty significantly here. And you can see them both expending their wards in the side lane brush so that they can actually have vision, and the minions at least will still track when he goes for harassment.
And I'm really happy to see Thanatos on this pick, not only because I think it's a good response, but because it feels like occasionally LTA North top laners haven't been as willing to flex this Aurora top, right? Gives another really strong component to C9's draft potential, because we know that Loki is also really good on this pick. We did see Photon play it into the Rumble, I believe, as well, which is another good matchup for her.
In fact, it's doubled his CS up there.
He
got up to 2 with the wave that was at
For
tower.
those that can't see, Kobe just leaned into my vision and was like holding up his index finger.
He's like, he's got 1!
Squinting at the screen.
Making sure.
He's got 2 now, babe. Oh, 3!
Okay,
Ooh,
and he does lose a lot of HP.
Takes a bunch of poke for it.
How many does he get before he has to base and use the teleport? Well, his jungler's on his side defending, so they don't have to be as worried about the Blaber dive. Skarner's just going to continue full clearing there, and Yuuji is cleared up to Impact's side to try and help defend him.
So annoying there for Impact, because even though he dodged the initial cast of the twofold
Oh
Vex, the
my
return
God.
still hit him. Thanatos has this crocodile on the endangered species list. He is not having a good time up here for Team Liquid.
As Raz would say, gulp.
Goal?
That is Raz's favorite thing to say.
That's a classic Razism.
All right, he's going to get out of there. Get me out of here, please.
Yep.
Lane swap.
All right, time to leave. Meanwhile, a little bit of violence up here on the top side. Rivers, Blaber, and Loki threatening towards Yuuji, who defensively flashes away, wants to still try to contest here for the Scuttle Crab. Satchel bouncing Blaber around a little bit, but a TP is coming bottom side. Vulcan and Zven could be in a bad spot now as Impact looks to cut off their escape route. Yuuji also pathing down here, but Vulcan and Zven are just like, nah, we're going to leave this way, and they'll disengage.
Yeah.
Nice attempt. We do see TL kind of swapping to help Impact out for a little bit, right? Because that Aurora is going to stay topside for now, going up against Yeon.
Yeah. That's kind of the comfort thing of about the way that the game has been set up for the last couple of months here. You know, even with the lane swaps being restricted for the first like 3.5 minutes, you eventually can get out of there. Even though the very beginning is super painful, it's not like you're locked into there forever and it just gets blown open to this like individual 1,000 gold lead or something. It's worth 300 here, about a kill for Thanatos worth of early game pressure that he's been able to put out.
And want to hear kind of a hot take that I feel like people are not going to expect.
Ooh, yeah, super hot.
So I actually liked either full lane swaps or full no lane swaps.
I know.
But not this.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
This is
where you
like
draw the line.
This is like a weird halfway period, right? Where I do think there's some strategic value to point out with the way that teams sometimes deal with their swaps. Like, again, I liked what TL did in the first game, right? I thought that was really, really smart. This is more of a, we're just trying to swap out so our, Renekton doesn't get killed as we see this invade.
Yeah, Blaber, E-Spell impacted straight through the wall into the chicken pit, not expecting Yuuji and CoreJJ to both already be waiting there. Now Loki's going to step forward here with a 2-man taunt to make sure that Blaber stays safe. Blaber calm and collected there, not using the flash, but ultimately has to spend it at the very end. Otherwise, the Mega Inferno Bomb would have caught him. Meanwhile, the fight continues down in bottom lane as Impact tries to get close to the wave, and Vulcan and Zven don't want to let him.
Yeah, Impact's still not having a very good time.
No, not even a little bit. This is a sad crocodile.
Every time he tries to walk up,
Crocodile tears.
one of them just...
It's just they won't let him play the game. Impact drove all the way to the studio today to play League of Legends, and Cloud9 won't let him play.
Won't someone think of the crocodiles, really?
It's even like doubly funny because me and Flowers were getting makeup this morning, and the makeup artists were telling us about this flat crocodile Friday.
Oh, wait, yeah, okay.
As he is getting flattened right now.
no, he might get flattened after all. Impact, he still has his flash. He wants to buy a little bit more time, but he's shot right in the face. The crocodile falls truly flat for first blood for C9.
Wait, you didn't know about that meme?
No, I had no idea. And they were like, then they were explaining it.
It's
the
flat expletive deleted Fridays.
Yeah. There's an extra F in the flat.
Look,
but yeah.
I have already been warned, okay? Because I am the biggest actual perpetrator of dropping F-bombs on stream.
Anyways.
Let's see, Blaber gets also the Drake off of that, right? So not only do we get a kill onto Impact, but complete bot side control here.
Really flipping good.
Yes, exactly.
Where does Impact go from here? Does he like go to 7-Eleven or something?
Grab a slushie.
Even Vulcan's like, you know what? I can take him.
He's got 24
Just
farm.
standing, body blocking the waves.
We're the same level. I can take him.
24 farm. Okay, he got a little bit of money there from the control
That's where he
ward.
goes.
He goes to the control wards because that's the only thing that they're letting him hit.
The crocodile goes back to the river. The natural habitat.
Oh, his
That's
natural
where he came
place.
from.
Yeah,
Okay.
diving for treasures. He found a control ward worth some gold. Hey, he got level 6 star. All right, he's got his
unlucky treasure. I'd want more from my
I think at this point, beggars cannot be choosers when it comes to what Renekton does and does not get to have in this game.
Yeah, and he's definitely begging. Please.
Poor Renekton's just sitting there with his cup on the side of the road, trying to get people to give him some pennies.
But Thanatos just missed the cannon
Thanatos
minion.
is in some danger. He had to go between worlds and flash away. Core and Yeon putting in the work here to finally get some pressure back onto the enemy top lane.
Yeah, and they should be able to shove this in. Yuuji kind of taking a look at these grubs to kind of sneak in. Blaber smited one of them.
Okay.
See if APA wants to go in here too.
APA does not have a lot of mana to work with. Loki and Blaber still looking to step up here as the Mega Inferno Bomb flies in, but not a lot of value to be found. Vulcan's making his way forward now as that last grub is very low. Vulcan staying alive, does have Unbreakable Will ready, and the curtain call has opened up. Control over the pit still belongs to C9. There is no smite on Blaber, but he has enough damage to secure the last grub anyway, so 2-to-1 split on the grubs. C9 gets the majority.
Yeah, C9 gets the grub credit, and also you see a little bit of a preview. Impact finally, look, he's getting a turret plate, he gets to farm.
While everybody's away,
he's back
Impact
in it, boys.
gets to play.
We'll play.
But I think you also saw from that Vulcan setup as well how well this Alistar can set up for the Jhin. Here's APA on Ziggs. I asked for this Photoshop of APA onto Ziggs' body just to show off.
He doesn't even look happy though. That's supposed to be his happiest champ.
This is also during his mustache man era. You know?
Is that a good era, Emily?
I don't know.
But
he's very good at Ziggs. He's very good at Ziggs. As Yuuji might be in trouble.
Yeah, this might not be a good era for Yuuji. Vulcan and Blaber immediately going to start up the fight here, headbutting that enemy jungler around. Thanatos shows up with a two-fold hex to take him down. Void Seeker from Yeon at the very end. Yeah, it damages Blaber, but it's not like he's close to death. So that crab is going to be earned and burned by C9 as Loki and Impact continue trading back and forth down here in the bottom lane. C9 with a 2-0 lead in terms of kills.
Yeah, and one of those is on Thanatos after he just picks up that one. So extra money funding into the Liandry's completion. He probably should just be able to complete it whenever he decides to go back at the moment. Impact, though, trying to farm himself right back into this game, having an easier time versus Loki on the opposite side of the map. But yeah, Cloud9 feeling quite good about their position. They are only one more kill away from the 3 kills for feats, and then they're only one more objective away for the objective feat.
Only one turret away from the feat of turret.
Only one turret away.
Turret just sounds so goofy. Every time you actually say it, I'm just like, ah yes, the feat of first turret.
You're imagining some stone toes, Emily?
Yeah, sure.
That's so cursed. I didn't want that mental image, man.
That's not what I was thinking, but now I'm wondering what you were thinking.
Now you are.
That was a Raz comment.
I feel like I'm not better for that.
Well, the question is, since Thanatos again has the lead this time around, and we saw it last game, even when Yeon had a big lead, they weren't able to win. But what about with APA on Ziggs is the hope for Team Liquid? Because Blackfire Torch is done, and usually they are very good at rotating him over for towers.
Ooh, Yeon getting away there. CoreJJ with a defensive quickness as Vulcan wanted to jump in for the fast combo on the Kai'Sa. He does still have the Ghost though, and Thanatos goes between worlds for a little bit of burst, but it's not enough to actually threaten Yeon's life as Team Liquid successfully disengages.
Not enough, but they should be able to get some damage on this turret, push this wave in, get at least that first plate. Mega Inferno Bomb's gonna clean up that wave.
Exactly. It's still really good for them because all they invest is like the extra ultimate here from Thanatos, and you get out the exhaust. Even though it's like spellbook exhaust, still trying to get it off the board here and getting in for a turret plate worth of money for Thanatos is going to be quite nice for them. So he gets to complete his Leandries plus the boots for himself here before teleporting right back to duty.
Yeah, and Clayton, you asked, like, okay, how are we looking with, like, this Ziggs? What do we want to do? It's kind of exactly like Kobe said, right? Like, you want to be able to get him on the map. You want him to be able to affect side lanes from wherever he is. You want to try to open this up to make it a little bit more dangerous for C9 to go places. Unfortunately, C9 have been winning out on all of these early skirmishes and map pressure, and now they're going to take the Drake.
Yeah, Thanatos is walking down here, so you definitely have to respect that. Impact does have teleport, but...
Ooh, Vulcan with the flash pulverizer to the headbutt onto Yuuji. Blaber diving through the wall with the Ishtal impact. He gets the impale only onto the Zhao, and now Zven could be in a little bit of danger himself, but it's Yuuji first to die. CoreJJ and Impact swooping in to try to find something on the back end of the fight as Impact is frontlining, and Loki's barely getting away. The taunt at the back end of things as the chain CC on Impact prevents him from getting any of these kills. The hero's entrance finally seals Loki's fate, but he'll trade with Impact as the curtain call opens, and Team Liquid have to reposition their battle lines. C9 still looking to stick around and maybe fight a little bit more, but they've got to be careful. APA, he's full on health, but he's so low on mana, and C9's gonna continue disengaging, weirding for some burst. CoreJJ stepping away as the Mega Inferno Bomb takes Thanatos low, but it will not kill him. Between worlds yet again, Yeon into danger! Thanatos is just styling on these Team Liquid boys.
Yeah, I mean, it was getting kind of dicey at the beginning. Blaber was driving people really close to Zven. Like, he drove Yuuji melee range of him, and it got a little bit of damage there. Zven's okay, though. He backed up, and Cloud9 are able to kite it long enough that they get the outplay in mid lane. Here's how it all started, though, Emily, with Vulcan.
I love watching Vulcan's Alistar. It's so fun. As he said, Blaber kind of driving it right back into Zven. Zven has to be pretty careful there as they end up cleaning up the feat of warfare. But the other important thing is that Thanatos still is trying to come kind of all the way around the back. Gets tagged by the Ziggs bomb field there, and then even when Loki comes back in, he's going to end up dying to APA. Throughout this, Thanatos did not have his ult. If he'd had his ult, it would have been a lot different.
Yeah, and he did a good job there. Like, he snipes out Impact, he kills off the Renekton, then he kind of kites here, he's holding his flash, he's waiting for the engage. They got CoreJJ low, he uses it there, and then he baits because Ben says, hey, I've also got flash. I can come in and help you finish this kill, and they do so.
Uh-oh. I think the bad times might keep rolling here for Impact. Thanatos is on a rampage, and the Croc is once again out of commission. C9 up 1,500 gold, 15 minutes in.
And once again, Thanatos is having a fantastic game. Yeah, fancy that.
Dude's pretty good.
He's pretty good. Again, I love this top lane Aurora pick. We already talked about how it matches up well into the Renekton. I'm glad to see more top laners from LTA flexing here. Again, we have another. We just got to keep pulling up good Thanatos stats.
So, also like that he's got his Dark Seal, so he's probably going to make a mid-eyes at some point this game. If last game...
love to see it.
There was any indication, definitely would like to see that, because Aurora is a champion that can keep her stacks. When you get stacks on this champion, so mobile, actually pretty difficult because you get to choose whether you put yourself at risk or not.
Yep, and then on the top side, we do see TL going to try to take that Herald. We'll see if they're able to do anything with it. We do still have the turret-taking power of Ziggs on their side. However, we did also see Galio cleaning up that bot tier 1 turret for C9.
Honestly, I think it's pretty big for TL here to be able to just kind of steal that Rift Herald away, considering C9 has been winning all the neutral fights, considering they do have the 2,000 gold lead. And like you mentioned, you combine Herald with Ziggs, if the turret's hurt at all before the charge, it's pretty much just going to be in satchel range guaranteed. Very, very easy to execute, very, very easy to pick up some free money and try to close this gold gap back down to something more manageable.
Impact.
Uh-oh. Okay, sidesteps past the Skarner car, but now he's still got to be careful and try to get away, but no, it doesn't look like it. Immediately, they lock him up with the Impale, exhaust him so he can't do anything. Game number 2 has been absolutely brutal for Impact's Renekton.
And this time, Kobe, the delivery to Zven was perfect.
Well, Vulcan's like, don't worry, I also have exhaust spellbook here. I'm gonna headbutt it.
Thanatos was trying to teleport away, but CoreJJ interrupted it with the grand entrance. Thanatos knows that Team Liquid wanted to send up a lot of power to try to get a kill on him here. He wanted to get away, but he can't quite get there in time. And now with a Mega Inferno Bomb, APA gets a really nice shutdown. So Team Liquid, they'll summon a Herald up here in the top lane. They'll get the tier 1. They force Thanatos death, and they make sure that they're going to get the second charge too.
That's incredible usage, but Cloud9 now coming over for defense, so they have to be a little bit careful about sticking around. APA really wants the second tower.
Yeah, he's going to try to get the satchel on it, but instead he just drops dead. A miscalculation from APA is free money for C9.
Flowers, is greed one of the deadly sins?
Yeah, it's a pretty deadly one.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask Ziggs. You can't, because he's dead, because he was greedy.
Because, yes, exactly.
I like their blue pings on that tower right now. They're like, we need this money. Get that money.
Get the money.
Somebody get paid from that tower. Regardless, Cloud9, I mean, that actually made up some of the losses that they just had received on the top side of the map. But now Loki seems like he is under attack.
Yeah, it's a full send from Team Liquid going in after the Galio. Very nice taunt timing there from Loki. And the Justice Punch to dodge away from the satchel. Oh my goodness, cut the tape. Cut the tape. Team Liquid is looking goofy. Loki just casually walked away from him on an afternoon stroll.
But they are going to get that money from the tower.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Okay. Bang. There it is. All right. Splat.
The audio for...
Because it's the bee Ziggs, and it just makes that splort noise.
These turrets are sounding juicier than I expected.
We had a really good build-up. We all got silent, and we're waiting for them. And it just goes...
It's like a weird little magical whoopee cushion or something.
Yeah.
It just sounds goofy, but we have at least a little bit more money back in Team Liquid's pocket.
Weird magical whoopee cushion.
Wait, what makes it magical?
That because it's Ziggs and he's a magic champion. Okay. I think that you could make an April Fool's skin out of that riot. You guys, the choo-choo train Ornn was a really cool idea. I'm telling you, whoopee cushion Ziggs. That's your next one.
It's going to be the clown Ziggs.
Yeah.
All right, C9, let's see if they can maintain control over these neutral objectives. They're going in after Drake, number 3 of the game. Loki has tagged Impact, marked him off the side. Remember that grand entrance can come in, that heroic entrance from the Galio, as they will scrap back and forth a little bit here. The remaining 4v4 back in the river, not going anywhere here just yet as CoreJJ jumps in. Vulcan's going to eat the Mega Inferno Bomb, but he's the only one taking damage. Vulcan with a major engage. The follow-up multi-ulti from Vulcan to Impale 2, as everybody on Team Liquid's having a scatter. Thanatos versus Impact off the side, and Impact is going to get the critical clutch kill. Yeon is still alive. Impact roars to life. Yeon finally cut down as Loki needs another taunt, and Blaber's got to do some serious work here as Loki is about to fall. Team Liquid will win this fight. They will ace Cloud9 as soon as Blaber falls. He gets Impact on his way out, and it's 9 dead men in the river. Only Yuuji left standing.
Only Yuuji left. The Zhin here. You can't take the Otacon because it's going to take him too long, so the Otacon's still going to be there when we get out of this replay and we get the resets. But here's another look at the engage. Vulcan spent everything. Blaber just spent his ultimate as well here to go for the suppress engage. But look at Zven. He got dove on. Yeon and Yuuji did not hesitate. They immediately delete him. And then Impact, as you said, on the other side, finished off Thanatos, and TL were able to climb their way right back into the game.
Yeah, I kind of call this the Crocodile's revenge, right? I guess you can kind of see why Impact does still like to pick this Renekton if he's able to have a team fight like this where he gets onto Thanatos, he knows his prio targets, right? Tries to keep him out of the fight. Zven.
Not happy with that one.
Yeah, I mean, Yuuji and Yeon didn't hesitate. They immediately dove on him. They're like, okay, you got the engage over there and you locked up CoreJJ. Well, we've got damage. So even if the Rakan doesn't get a charm combo onto Zven, they're still going to go for it. And they did get the assassination.
They got the assassination. We got the Drake secured by TL, so C9 doesn't get to sit at that sole point status for the rest of the game now. And TL, after never having a gold lead for the entire game, C9 commanding about a 2,000 lead for the past 10 minutes or so. TL's got a gold lead.
Yeah, and we'll see what they can do with it, as it still feels like C9 is going to want to try to set up around this Otacon, potentially take that next.
Yeah, I mean, it's really dangerous at the moment here since either, like, the fight is so close, and they're kind of showing Blaber possibly up towards the top side. He does show, they got a little sighting of him, but he doesn't even finish the red. He comes over now because they're forcing 4TL's side. There is a ward right on the Otacon that does see the health, but they're gonna go.
All right, let's see what they can do. Mega Inferno Bomb has already been used on the objective, and Otacon is secured by Team Liquid. Vulcan jumps into the fight, and Blaber's ready to follow. Quickness from CoreJJ to lock up C9 as they try to make their attack. CoreJJ disengaging now as Blaber's about to die first. Team Liquid, beautifully done. They'll claim the Otacon, they'll claim a kill on Blaber, and now they've got more momentum.
There was a control ward on that red buff. Blaber went up to the red buff, the control ward saw him there, and that's when TL made the call. Nerves of steel there for TL. They saw Blaber on the top side, they said, we full send, we burn this Otacon, we get ourselves into this game, and now with that, plus this tower, the gold is just surging in their favor. Flowers, we may actually be in for our game number 3. This time around, the team with the early lead again loses the Otacon, except that the table has been flipped, and TL are the ones making the mid-game surge.
The key to winning in this series is you gotta lose early. Let's take another look at how Team Liquid made this one work.
Yeah, so Blaber was seen by the controller up by the red buff, so he took a long time to get down here, and TL just kind of burned it through.
Yeah, and here we go. Impact going in onto Blaber, even though he gets rooted. I mean, it's just kind of them being able to create space. C9 knows they are going to have to back off after this. Really huge from TL. They should be able to take this mid tier 1 as well, really take control over the map. And this, again, how they play with this Ziggs, how they've still really focused on spreading him around the map, taking turrets, has kept them in the game.
And how they react to information. There was no hesitation. When you see their movements, as soon as Blaber showed up by the controller, up on the red buff, they make the call, and the whole team just committed to it. They got it done just in time. Then they, turn and get the kill afterwards too. And as you say, snowballing tower gold with Ziggs afterwards has put them in quite a good spot here.
And we talked about how important this Ziggs is, as right now we've got a big engage coming out. They wanted to get the kill onto Thanatos, but they don't quite have enough damage. Immediately ready to go. Mega Inferno Bomb does still have a few seconds left there on the cooldown. But what I was mentioning is we said we wanted to see a big performance on the Ziggs. We talked about the comfort for APA. We talked about how this is probably his best champion in the game. His game 1 performance was underwhelming, and here in game 2, he's got nearly a 2,000 individual gold lead now. His Ziggs is doing exactly what they need it to do.
Yeah, and even though they don't get that kill onto Thanatos, they should be able to set up to try to take this Mountain Drake and really play with Fog to force C9 to come into them.
Okay, Thanatos is going to mark Impact off to the side here. As Baron does spawn now, we can see the Drake also live on the other side of the river. C9 maybe looking from an angle. CoreJJ does not have the quickness. Team Liquid knows that is a big
Loki
engage tool that they would really prefer to have if they're going to commit to a fight right now. APA jumps back over the wall there with a satchel charge as Loki finds a little bit of damage here onto Impact. The Dragon's going to get mad, further knock him back into the wall. Impact still hanging out in here, has to flash over the wall to guarantee that he does not lose any more HP. Remember, he has no teleport either. If he recalls, he has to walk all the way back to the fight. Zven gets tagged there with the Void Seeker. Team Liquid still grouped up as 5, thinking about challenging here. Thanatos off to the side, wants wants to be able to have some sort of a flank. CoreJJ a few more seconds before the grand entrance is ready. And now the Drake secured by C9. They're on Soul Point, and Thanatos goes in between worlds. Impact has to pop the dominance, but he's still all the way on the run. Blaber and Vulcan trying to protect Zven as he provides covering fire for the rest of the team. Impact about to die in the very back lines as Vulcan's about to die on the very front. Down to 300 HP here for the Alistar, but Impact will be the one to fall. Thanatos, one more two-fold Hex, takes him out.
Yeah, Impact positioning at the very beginning, he just got chunked out. Hit like half of his health bar plus his flash as he got corralled into the Dragon Pit, had to flash over the other side, and Cloud9 are like, great, we've got a huge health lead, our front line is massive, and so good job steamrolling there by Cloud9. They just push them off, they get their objective, and then they still chase down Impact here with Thanatos popping ultimate, popping flash on the Aurora to chase them down. Cloud9 quickly retake a bit of control here, get themselves to Soul Point.
Yeah, I also really liked how Loki was kind of looking for a flank too, right? So as soon as Impact did end up taking that much damage, you saw Loki kind of being there as well when Impact had to flash out, gave C9 full control of that Drake Pit.
And I mean, the big story there was CoreJJ's ultimate cooldown. You could see by the way that Team Liquid was moving, they were trying to keep themselves in an aggressive enough position to engage as soon as Core had the quickness, but it was too late because of Impact getting chunked down like you guys talked about, because of the fact that the teleport was also still on CD and could not reset. Now Vulcan's in the middle of everybody as CoreJJ goes in for the engage. Thanatos into the back line, a lot of damage coming through. APA's first to die and Blaber takes the kill. Core is low as he and Yuuji are scrapping with Loki. Zven is down and Impact into the back line. Yeon barely staying alive, but Vulcan cleans him up too. Team Liquid has way better health bars left, and C9's just looking to disengage. CoreJJ at about 100 HP, but he stays alive. Impact redeeming his early game here as he continues to find so much value in so many of these fights.
Yep, Team Liquid, they have much more DPS available in the longer extended fights here. They're able to chase them down, get some more flashes out as well after that fight. The Baron's still going to be up though, so we'll have to see a quick reset afterwards, but here's the engage, the explosive attempt at APA's life, and they do get APA, but look at the counter kills there. It cost them Thanatos, plus Zven just got murdered again with them flashing over. And then once you trade out these AD carries, you still have Impact and Yuuji on these champs, you know, Conqueror stacking champions that can really excel in the chase down versus all these tanks.
Okay, we have no sums now, so we need to carry Renekton and Rakan flank, guys.
All right, serious comms from C9. They know that this game is in a very precarious situation as Yuuji and CoreJJ again are going to work together to move forward, choke out some of the vision, and make this Baron Pit very dangerous for C9 to even contemplate approaching.
I think Yuuji has been quite good. You know, this has been a very big story for Team Liquid, and despite him not being like the main story of these games, it has been something that's really heavily tracked, of course, because of the jungle changes that they did. And both games here performing fairly admirably. Let's see what they can do after this Baron start that they just did. Doesn't look like there's going to be anything important exchanged, but they still have control wards here, so you can just kind of rinse and repeat for TL.
Yep, Team Liquid starting that up. They burned it down about 1/3 of its HP or so. Now CoreJJ, got to be a little bit careful here as he disengages back towards the rest of his team. It's C9 with control over the mid lane, with push on the wave. They're going to make sure that they get that shoved out, and then they can address Team Liquid after the fact. Now Impact going to be your first target. He pops the dominance before he's caught up in the impale, and Impact is already down. Now Core here on the front line, eating bullets from the curtain call, as Yuuji's got to be careful, and Loki's about to fall. Beautiful shot from Zven to finish off CoreJJ. Yuuji stays alive a little bit longer, but Zven gets a double kill. A triple kill for the Jhin. And once he's not targeted, Zven has all the space in the world to carry the fight.
And that's what happens when Impact goes down first, unfortunately, right? Because then you lose this beefy frontliner and you lose the damage he's also doing in team fights. His stickiness sets up perfectly for Zven to finally get off a really long-range ultimate that he's kind of always been wanting to do. We see Core kind of looking for something here, going on to Blaber as C9 then are going to push out this mid lane. A little bit, we're waiting for it.
Yeah, and you get to see the burst damage.
There we go.
Vulcan goes straight towards him, but it's Zven who gets this root on him, the W. Zven just really playing the fight so well.
Yeah, he got the 4th shot there to guarantee the massive chunk of the impact to get him low enough to guarantee the kill. And then as he's reloading, he says, I don't even need this gun anymore. He pulls out the big one. The curtain call has massive value. And Team Liquid, those sustain tanks, the power of something like a Zhao or a Renekton, it can't do the job in a situation like that. Now, an even bigger problem for TL, we've got the Soul spawning for C9 if they secure this next Drake.
And it's Mountain Soul, which is going to make it so much more difficult for this Kai'Sa, for this Ziggs to be able to get a lot more damage onto both Blaber and Vulcan.
All right, let's see if TL can make the approach here. Trap line laid down by Zven. Team Liquid looking to see if they can close the gap up here onto Loki. Vulcan looking for a disengage as CoreJJ lands the quickness, but he doesn't get a whole lot of disruption from it. Nice slam back into the wall on Yuuji there, coming out from Blaber as Team Liquid is grabbed up inside the Impale yet again. Yuuji is already down. The Dragon is at 500 HP and Zven snipes it down with his gun. Yeon trying to deal with Thanatos off to the side as APA wants to at least try to pick up a kill onto Vulcan, but I don't think he's gonna get it. The bouncing bomb bounces away. A double kill for Zven. C9 mopping up that fight. Zven performing beautifully yet again, laying down the damage, turning the ulti shot over to the Drake when he realizes that somebody has to kill this thing. And now with an ace, C9 are marching straight down mid, looking to end the game.
They are. They've got Baron, they've got Dragon Soul, and they've got the series wrapped up, Flowers.
It was a valiant effort from Team Liquid. It looked like they had a real good chance at bringing this one back there for a while, but C9 proved triumphant. They prove why they are at the top of the standings, and they prove they are better than Team Liquid 2-0.